Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Ingram Jones, and thank you for tuning in to another post-fight show. This post-fight show will be talking about Ward versus Smith, Andre Ward's return, and Shawn Porter against Adrien Broner. As always, I have to stop to check and see if this has been recorded clearly. Good, and we've done that, so we're good. We're good to go. So there's lots to talk about, and I'm going to get straight into it because I haven't got that much time. First of all, don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments, and new thing I'm going to ask you to do is tell other people about the channel, tell other people about the interviews, tell other people about the shows. Bring your friends along, get them involved in the conversation. Let's start a movement. Okay, so what are we talking about? We're going to be talking about Ward versus Smith. Before we talk about that, thank you to those out there that have either retweeted or have come on the show and shown love, or have just basically just been there in the background supporting. I know who you all are, and I want to say a big thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it means a lot. So here we are. Smith versus Ward. Let's go into the pre-fight. What people believe before the fight. It was a mismatch. Paul Smith didn't belong in the ring with Andre Ward. Why was he fighting Paul Smith? And like I said before, I'm going for it again just to remind people where we're at and where we're going to. So the journey beforehand, the journey started as Paul Smith, I believe, was selected because A, was British champion, B, gave Ward more coverage, C, all the other British opponents that he could have had were either in world title fights, preparing for world title fights, already in big fights. So let's go for it again. DeGale had just won the IBF, no go. Groves was preparing to fight Badu Jack, no go. See, then you've got Paul Smith. Both guys, Groves and DeGale, had beaten Smith, so people knew who Paul Smith was. DeGale's name has grown somewhat because of the way he beat Durrell recently in America. So it kind of, Ward could piggyback off of that as well in terms of capturing a bigger audience, because he really does need a bigger audience. For somebody of that, his talent and being away for so long, he really does need to get some momentum in his career. So he couldn't get Carl Froch, obviously, because Froch didn't know whether he was going to be fighting Golovkin, King Kong, or, like I said before, or just retiring. And still, we don't know what's going on with Carl Froch. I suspect he's going to retire. He'd be a fool to go and fight Gennady Golovkin. I don't care how big and strong Froch is. You haven't been in the ring for such a long time now. It's over a year, 38 years old. I wouldn't advise it personally, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So anyway, so Smith is the man that's been brought in to fight Ward. I mentioned it beforehand. Smith was not a big super middleweight. DeGale and Groves were much bigger super middleweights, and Smith, being the lighter guy in there, on both times got found out. Fought Arthur Abraham as well, and got beat by Arthur Abraham. So now Andre Ward, coming off a 3-year layoff, has come back into boxing. We want to know what it's about. I've noticed we've got 3 viewers in the room at the moment, so I better check and see if there's anybody there. There is. Right, okay, good. Jerry Boy, hello. Copendo 9, hello. I'll be with you guys in a minute. I just want to finish this build up to this and I'll be with you. So, well, I don't know what I'll say. Yeah, so Paul Smith now, he's the smaller guy going in and fighting against sorry guys, he's the smaller guy going in against Andre Ward. He was a small super middleweight. I thought he was a middleweight, and he's now going up to fight Ward. So what does he go and do? He puts on extra weight. extra weight, heavier poundage, but being fat or bigger doesn't mean you're going to be a better fighter. That just means there's kind of more of you to hit. And also, that's the first point. And the second point is you're going to be a lot slower at the weight. And, you know, Smith comes in significantly heavier. I think comes in the next day, 181 pounds. So not only was he going to get in the ring to get beat, right? Physically, mentally, emotionally, he's getting beat in the pocket as well. 15 grand he had to pay for that. I wonder if Eddie Hearn had to help old Smith out with that. 15 grand, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Yeah, bearing in mind that Eddie Chambers was getting, like, he ended up getting less than 5 grand for a fight, and he was fighting close to a world title shot. I mean, you know, that's ridiculous and unprofessional. You know, it's Paul Smith. People say, oh, well, he gambled with the weight. Well, gambled with the weight for what? Did you really think it was going to be weight that was going to be Andre Ward? I mean, come on, really, people, weight? He was going to be, you know, he's gambled the weight. He's going to be a bit bigger in there, right? Surely. So what was he going to do? You got the weight. What are you going to do? Physically impose yourself on Ward? Well, you're small middle. We were small super middle in the beginning, and then you're going to try and push you up to cruiserweight and try and bully yourself around. And you want a noted puncher at middleweight. You want a noted puncher at super middleweight. You're not a noted puncher at light heavyweight. Well, you're going to blow yourself up to cruiserweight and try and bully your way forward? Wait, Carl Froch, who's naturally bigger and stronger than you, couldn't do that. Mikkel Kessler, better skilled fighter, bigger, stronger than you, can do that. So you're going to come with more weight. So they say, oh, well, you know what? He's coming bigger at the weight so he can absorb more punches. Huh? All right. Yeah, well, if he's bigger, then he can absorb more punishment. Well, he took punishment, right? But I'll stop it there for a second, and we'll find out what people are saying in the room. Right. So we're talking about Ward versus Smith at the moment. I will come to the Porter thing afterwards, but we're talking about Ward and Smith. So for this minute in time, viewers, please, let's focus on Ward versus Smith, and I'll only address the comments of Ward versus Smith at the moment, and then afterwards we can talk about Broner Porter. But this is Smith versus Ward at this minute in time. So that's what I'm focusing on. So coming into this fight, people said it was a no-win situation for Smith. Smith said, okay, fine, it's a no-win situation. I'm going to try and give it the best I can. So from round one, what did I see? Smith had his hands earmuffs there, really tucked up tight. I said, look, I'm just going to tuck up the strategy team. I'm going to tuck up tight. I'm going to try and last as long as I can in this fight. And if I can catch Ward coming in with something, then I will. But unfortunately for Smith, he didn't realize how good a jab that Andre Ward had. I think watching it from the outside, he says, oh, he's a good skilled boxer. But when he got in there, he probably realized he was a very good jabber. His jab was very strong. He realized probably up close, Andre Ward was physically very strong as well. And you sort of notice Smith wasn't able to land as many punches as he would have done against Arthur Abraham or against a DeGale, because now you've got somebody there who's a lot slicker. When he's in the pocket, he's in the pocket because he wants to be in the pocket. He's outside the distance because he wants to be outside distance. At no point in time, Smith landed a couple of good shots. Or something like 41 punches that Smith landed in the whole fight in comparison to like over 300 punches landed. And it was just a jab. Everything came up. Everything off that fight was a jab. Everything wore through was off the jab. Jab, and just round after round, just busting Smith's face up all the time. Smith, don't get me wrong, Smith tried. But when you're at that level, you're fighting that kind of guy, plus you're fighting with a lot more weight on you, I don't know if you so it was just a good performance from Andre Ward. Like I said, Smith was going to try and take center ground and take the fight to Andre Ward. But as I said, as soon as Smith came forward, he was going to come against a brick wall. And he came against a brick wall, and that brick wall started throwing punches back at him. And so then Smith didn't know what to do. He said, well, look, I can't box you from the outside because you're jabbing me from the outside. I can't box you on the inside because even when I'm on the inside, if you watch the fight, I said before, Ward was very good with the uppercut on the inside. Beautiful shots on the inside by Ward. So he's good on the outside. He's good on the inside. So what else can you do? You've got to put a good showing on. You're in America. You can't just go there and fall over. So to Smith's credit, he took everything, literally everything. And he was beaten, pardon the expression, he was beaten to his black and blue. You know, his eyes were busted, his nose was busted, his face was busted, and so Ward was just, and that was just a jab. And when you've got a very good jab, you can dictate fights. And Andre Ward put on an exhibition in there, and you just think to yourself, someone like Gennady Golovkin. I'm giving you an example here of a guy that fights literally with his face. You know, I still think he fights with his face. Looking at the the fight he fought the other day, I can't remember the guy's name again, but that fight, if you look at that fight and look at the way he fought that fight, you know, his head was there, he was getting hit all the time with punches. And you think somebody like Ward, who's physically going to be much stronger at the weight, using the jab and the right hands and the crosses and the movement, you know, he sits in pocket when Ward does things when he wants to do them, not when you want him to do things. He does this just like, you know what, I'm coming inside now. And when I'm coming inside, I'm deliberate. I know what I'm going to do in the inside. I'm going to throw uppercuts, I'm going to throw hooks. I'll tie you up when I want to tie you up. I'm going to bully you when I want to bully you. And I'm going to stand on the outside down. I'm going to jab you. And you know what? Ward is very spiteful as well. Very spiteful fighter. The sort of guy will say, take this, take this, take this. Now, okay, I'm going to stand and look at you a bit. Now you can take a bit more. And then I'll come back a bit more. And then I'll take you again. Ward is very much, if you're talking about boxing, for me, I think Ward is the total package. If you're talking about boxing, he can go forward, he can go back, he can throw in combination, he can sit in the pocket. You know, he can fight under pressure. You know, you don't see fight. You see Ward even getting ruffled up, and you see guys, we fought guys like Shatiel Beaker and even Mikko Kessler try and put their pressure on him. He's able to deal with that, and he was able to deal with anything that Paul Smith had. So in terms of a comeback fight, a lot of people were concerned whether Ward was going to be sharp. He looked pretty sharp to me. I didn't think the ring rust would have been an issue, and Paul Smith did nothing to really show anything there to see if Ward was really, you know, he didn't have the hand speed to test Ward. He didn't have the foot speed to test Ward. He didn't have the boxing ability to test Ward. He just basically was a guy that was soaking up a lot of punishment, coming forward and looking to land the 1 or 2 shots. Give Paul Smith all the credit in the world. He took the fight, you know, as long as he did, what, 9, 10 rounds? So you got to give him credit for that. He didn't just come in and fall over. So you give Paul Smith credit for that. So overall, a good performance by Andre Ward. Did what he had to do against a British champion. And, you know, Paul Smith can leave the United States, no shame at all, because there'll be guys better than Paul Smith that still got a beating anyway. You know, so I don't see there's any shame in what he did. He fought the best man out there possible, you know, so there are better fights ahead. Kovalev, Stevenson. I don't put Golovkin in that same mix, because again, that's a smaller guy. I think Ward fighting those 2 guys. I'd even like to see Ward fight Pascal. I think that's an interesting fight as well. I tell you a fight I could see possibly happening, and people might think I'm a bit crazy, is Nathan Cleverly. I could see Andre Ward fighting Nathan Cleverly. I could see him fighting Cleverly faster than him fighting De Gale. I can see that fight happening sooner, because if Cleverly were able to beat Jürgen Bremer, and then Ward probably says, well, you know what, at light, light heavyweight, that's another fight I can have. That's another fight I can have that gives me European exposure. It's a good fight to have. It's a good fight to have. I don't see Ward going to Germany, but if there's some way that Cleverly can get a hold of that title, I see no reason why Cleverly Ward couldn't be made. And I think that'd be, I don't think it's an exciting fight as such. Cleverly brings hand speed and movement, so it's a different challenge for Ward. A Ward fight that Ward wins, but I still think it's a fight that I think Rock Nation would be interested in for exposure. And I think there's just as much reason for him to fight Smith as there is to fight Cleverly, when you think about the fact that Cleverly has fought Kovalev, okay? And Kovalev is possibly a fight down the future that Ward will probably take. But those are my thoughts. Now we've got more people in the room. Let's hope they're talking about Ward and Smith. Okay. We've got Big Ola in the room. Big Ola says, Smith punched Ward 3 times. Yeah, got to say that Smith did, Ola, I did think that Smith did catch Ward's attention. Didn't say he rocked him, but he caught his attention. He let him know that there was somebody in the ring with him. But you got to say Andre Ward is something very, very special. Very special. So, yeah, a lot of people, when I was tweeting about Smith and what Smith was saying that he was open The only person that was open and easy to hit on the night was Paul Smith. So probably those people who like Paul Smith won't be seeing him on Sky Sports for a few weeks. If he is, he'll probably wear sunglasses because his eyes are probably going to be in a complete state. So, you know, Andre Ward, Smith, I think we can close the chapter on that. A lot of people on Twitter were saying, why are you wasting your time watching the fight? I just wanted to watch it. I thought it was interesting if Paul Smith could do anything out of what I expected. He didn't. And what that fight also shows me is that when you're at a certain level, you're allowed to do what you want to do. When you start moving up in class, if you can still do those things that you're doing at lower levels, at a higher class, it then tells you how good a fighter you really are. So Ward has been able to do what he's done at the lower levels, and he's been able to do it at world-class level. And, you know, that's where you can tell about levels, where Smith is able to do those things at British level, throw loads of punches and get into walls and all the rest of it. And then when you start moving up to the Arthur Abraham level, your punch output is then it starts to drop off a bit because you're getting hit back by a bigger puncher. And then we go up to the next level, which is Andre Ward, and you throw hardly any punches. So there's something right there in that. Very interesting. Okay, I think I've exhausted this Smith Ward thing. Let's move on to Porter versus Broner. Okay, I'll give you my take on it first, and then I'll listen to what you people have got to say. Going into the fight, I said about my concerns for the fight for Porter was being weight trained, whether he would have the same strength at 144 pound as he had 147 pound. Now, before anyone jumps on the bandwagon and says, oh, you got this wrong, you got that wrong, you got this wrong. Nobody knew what Shawn Porter would be like 144 pounds. Nobody, because nobody had seen him fight since amateur. So that's the first thing. So it was guesswork. You know, Porter could have got in there, got caught with the first shot and fallen over because he was weight trained. We don't know. And the other thing is, Broner did not fight to a game plan. Now, this is what I mean by fighting to a game plan. If you've got somebody you've drained to come down to 144 pound, what's the first thing you do? The two things you're going to do, you're going to work his body to see, you know, throw a lot of good body shots, land a couple of body shots, see how he responds because he's drained himself. That's the first thing. The second thing you do is to make the guy work at a pace that he's not comfortable at. And Broner didn't do none of those two things. Broner didn't stand his ground and start to try and have a fight with this guy. What Broner did was allow Porter to fight his normal fight at his normal pace. And if you notice, in the middle stages of the fight, Porter slowed down. And even when he got caught in the 12th round, Broner landed one shot, which was a left hook. And I told everybody, and they didn't listen to me. I said, Broner can stop this guy. Broner can hurt this guy. Broner can drop this guy because he's 144 pound. Had he landed that same shot 147 pound, I don't think that would have happened in the same way. So it tells me that if Broner could have landed that left hook in the 12th round and done that, then why couldn't he have done it in the middle stages of the fight? Those are the questions, because he had the power to hurt Porter. First thing, why didn't he stand his ground and land the shots? A number of reasons. Reason number one is Marcus Maidana. Has he got over the Marcus Maidana thing? Number two, and a lot of people are not thinking about this, is that has Broner shot his bolt? Has he already, at the young age that he is, has he peaked already? Because let's remember now, I said before, I don't think Broner gets any better, but I thought with him being, you know, weight training Porter, that he would be able to use that, though, you know, those pounds that would be taken off of Porter. He would have been weight trained and he would have worked the body more, given angles, worked the body more, and try and tire Porter out. But when Porter was able to fight at the pace that he's at, he's able to fight at a pace that suits him. So you're not really testing to see whether those extra pounds that he's taken off have actually, you know, had any effect on him. So you can't tell that. So it was a case of Broner not doing what he should have done. He did a lot of dirty stuff. He was not active. I said in my pre-fight to this fight, I said that Broner's work rate is shoddy. It's not world class. It's very, very, very poor. And I said that down the stretch that Broner could have pulled out a win. In the 12th round, he pulls out the left hook. Now, had he pulled that out earlier, what sort of a fight would we have had if he'd actually been disciplined? My suspicion is he probably didn't dedicate himself in the gym like he should have done. Even when he went to shake that, when Porter went to shake Broner's hand, and Broner turned away, and even disrespected kind of Mayweather standing there as well. Made you kind of wonder that Broner's his own man. He doesn't listen to what anyone else has got to say, and he'll do what the hell he wants to do. So no matter what Mayweather may have said to him, he was a man on his own mission. So let's see what people have got to say now. Let's check people out. Okay. Jerry Boy, 3699. I never liked Kenny Porter much at first, and the way he spoke to Shawn on camera was a bit over the top. After this Broner fight, I love the pair of them and think they are a brilliant team. Yeah, they're a good team. They're a very good team. Father and son unit, and there's a close bond there. And if you even look, like I said before in the pre-fight, when I said about Porter just staying outside, and Kenny Porter's got to give him a lot of credit for that, because Porter was able to move from this position here, jumping around, was able to stay on on Broner, because before Kenny Porter had put that into Shawn's mind, you've got to be first. We would have had a fight where Porter would have been bouncing right like he normally does, and given Broner the time to shoulder roll and throw the odd punch here and there, and allowed Broner to settle into the rhythm of the fight. So Kenny Porter's to be given a lot of credit for saying, you've got to break this guy's rhythm. You've got to break this guy's rhythm, which is what happened. And father and son worked together to bring out a brilliant game plan. Copen09 says, fair play to Team Porter. Their game plan early doors was to make Broner flat-footed and settle into being flat-footed. Exactly. Once you settle into rhythm, it's hard to change mid-fight. Then they start looking to work their way inside. Absolutely excellent stuff there. Fantastic stuff there. Sarah, good afternoon. Hope you're well. Yeah, he did hold a lot. Sarah says, neither looked that good. Porter's sloppy, and it didn't look pretty old. No, it didn't. But I guess when you fight someone like Adrien Broner, the way he's holding and tying you up, mauling you, and fighting scared. Broner fights like a guy who's been knocked out already, terrified, lots of holding and mauling, and when you hold and maul like that and you can't get your own punches off, the aim is to frustrate the fighter, so then they leave themselves open to get countered, punched. So I think that was the point of it. Copeland said, if anyone was weight drained, it was Broner. Yeah, it did look that way. By all accounts, he was 154, mid-54 range on Wednesday. Porter dedicated himself to the craft. Yeah, I was thinking that through a fight. I thought, you know what? Broner actually looks the one who looks drained and tight at the weight here, not Porter. But I don't think Broner dedicated himself as well as he should have done. So maybe when you don't do the running that you have to do and do the stamina work you have to do, then you only fight at a pace that you've trained at. So if you've trained really well in a fight, you've trained for a fight and you really dedicate yourself. I can tell you the difference between my own personal experience. I know two situations where one, I trained hard and did lots more running for the fight, and was able to say, you know what, no matter how this fight goes, I can go. It's got no problem, stamina's there. And you've got the other one where you haven't trained as well, and you say, you know what, I'm not going to put so much out. I'm going to throw a couple of punches, hold, tie up, and I'll throw a few more punches and try and fight that way around. And you can tell the difference. And I don't think, whereas Broner may have looked great, he may not have had the engine because he didn't dedicate himself into training, into the stamina work that he need to do. So I think Broner now is, like I said, like the Ferrari without the engine. And I don't know how Mike Stafford, I don't know what the game plan was, because there was hardly any body work. And that's the first thing I'd have been doing, work Porter's body. Let's really see what we've got here in this 144-pound man. He didn't do that. So I was very ashamed or shocked to see that didn't happen. I think Ken Porter versus Broner post-fight would have been a bit better. Yeah, quite possibly, yeah. Broner threw no more than 3 body shots all night. Porter was open to the pit of the stump. But yeah, that's what I thought myself. EJ Boxing Live says Broner won the fight. Okay, fair enough. Broner landed the clear work messing fight. Broner rounds 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 12 for me. Porter rounds 1, 4, 10, 11, and that's how I saw it. Porter not ready for Mayweather or Keith. And that's what EJ Boxing Live says. And Sarah says, how did Broner win? Well, I think, he didn't throw enough to win. No way. I think boxing's subjective. I don't think, but then I don't think. I personally didn't think that Brook won the fight against Porter. You know, I thought that Porter just did enough on the cards. So a lot of people say, no, Brook won the fight convincingly. I didn't think he won it convincingly. I've gone back and looked at the fight again 3 or 4 times and thought, you know what? Yeah, I could see where Brook probably could have won this fight. So I was easy to say, okay, fine, fair enough. EJ Boxing says, well, a body was not there because of Porter coming in with the head. Yeah, sure, agreed. But I still think that I didn't feel Broner put punches together. He didn't set a pace to see whether, you know, you've got to set a pace so that in the later rounds, a fighter slows down. That's what you want. But if a guy's fighting the pace that he's accustomed to always set at, and you've got to be able to stop him doing that. And Broner didn't do that. Broner gave Porter way too much, if you want to call it respect, or whatever you want to call it. He allowed Porter to implement his game plan, and I don't think Broner had a game plan coming to that fight. I just think Broner shows up and does what he normally does. And I think now, if I were Team Broner, I would have a serious. There's 2 things. I would seriously asking myself, do I really want to be in the sport of boxing? And if I am seriously in the sport of boxing, then what do I want to do in the sport of boxing? First of all, what weight category am I going to fight at? Am I going to be fighting at lightweight? I'm going to fight in like welterweight. Am I going to fight in welterweight? Broner was best when he was a lightweight. We still don't know. Well, I don't think Broner gets any better in his current environment. I really don't. I think Broner is his own man, which is fine. I think he doesn't get better in the environment that he's in. I think he's got to. There'll be certain fighters Broner will always be able to beat, and styles make fights. Fighters like Marcus Maidana, Shawn Porter, guys that rush and have high work rates will always give and hit hard, will always give Adrien Broner problems. All right, he's a guy that needs rhythm. He's a guy that needs to get confidence in the fight. So yeah, and Broner was fighting pretty dirty too. So I don't know. It wasn't a great fight. It wasn't a great fight. It wasn't a great fight. That's all much I say. What do you think of Kenny Porter after the fight when Broner came to shake his hand? I found it hilarious. Yeah, I think I don't find Broner the most respectful man in boxing, to be honest. I've never been a fan of his, but he has got skills and he has got talent, and I just think 10 years from now, or when Broner decides to retire, or he's retired, he's going to look back and say, you know what, I could have done so much more. I could have done so much more in this fight. I really could have done so much more. It's a shame because he has a lot of talent. I don't know if he's been ill-advised. I don't know if he's so pig ignorant. I don't know because I don't know the Broner, and I would love to have got the opportunity to talk to him and ask him, you know, why the hell do you do the things like that? Because it's very easy for us to judge and say there's some things that make no sense whatsoever. You sitting on a toilet seat wiping your ass with dollars, that don't make no sense. There's no PR in that. If you want to be hated, there's things you can do. You don't have to do that. It's just stupidity. So I don't, and I know being under Al Heyman, I thought, well, you know what? Being with Al Heyman and doing this whole PBC stuff, it'd been great because, you know, he's having, you know, everyone's dressed up in suits and ties and trying to look pretty professional and stuff, the sponsorship, blah, 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 blah. But if a person's a fool, no matter if you dress them up, they're still a fool. I'm still trying to find out of myself whether I'm trying to like Adrien Broner. I'm trying to say, you know what? I don't want to dog the man out. I'm trying to say to myself, there's probably a nice guy, but somewhere in there, he's caught up with the hype. Because if you go back and look at Adrien Broner in the amateurs, and you look at him, the way he talked about Shawn Porter and the respect he had for Shawn Porter, I don't know if he got caught up in the whole Mayweather, TMT. I don't know if you got caught up from that. If I were managing Adrien Broner, do you know what I'd do with Adrien Broner? I'd have a sit down and say, look, bro, you need to take some time out. You need to take some time out. You take yourself somewhere. I don't know, take yourself off to Africa or go up into the mountains and forget about billions and go find yourself. In fact, I would personally take him out, you know, and take him. I mean, the thing is, he's not like he's come out of a well-to-do society, because he hasn't, you know. But I'll take him out of that, take him somewhere to Africa, and just, you know, there's got to be purpose. Just take him to Africa for the sake of Africa. Take him and let him find himself. Let him find who he is. No, he doesn't have to go to Africa, but just put him somewhere where he can actually find time to find himself. Really find himself. Who am I? I know who Mayweather is, and I appreciate who Mayweather is, and he's a great fighter and all the rest of it. But who the hell am I? What do I stand for? What do I want to accomplish in the sport? Let's get something straight here. This has been a 3-weight world champion, right? Not everybody even goes for a fight having 1 world title win and winning a world title. This had 3 world title fights, and this guy was being three world titles, and this guy was being compared to Floyd Mayweather not so long ago. Fight fans, remember this. Not so long ago, he's being compared to Floyd Mayweather. People say, yeah, he's the second coming when Floyd takes over. And before he fought Marcos Maidana, people were actually saying, yeah, this guy's going to take over. This guy can run the show. It wasn't too long ago, people saying, boy, you know, I don't know if he should fight Ricky Burns. You know, Ricky Burns would get beat up in there. It wasn't too long ago people saying that. It wasn't too long ago people saying, boy, he's going to dominate that lightweight division forever. It wasn't too long ago people were saying that. And people working out, yeah, he is a problem. Where did it all go wrong? Where did it all go wrong? I believed he could have beaten Marcos Maidana before the fight was. I believed he could have beaten Marcos Maidana because I thought he had the abilities to do it. But physically, we discovered that physically he couldn't handle Marcos Maidana with his strength. He literally overpowered Adrien. But there's some things about Adrien Broner we have to give him credit for. He was in a fight last night that a lot of guys in boxing would have said, don't fancy this. I don't want any of this no more. Would have taken a knee. They would have found a way out of there. Broner had plenty of opportunities to get disqualified in there. Plenty of opportunities. So the one thing you can't knock about Adrien Broner is he's got heart. And if you question his heart, then that 12th round when he came out and he threw that left hook and he dropped Porter, damn, that's class. To be able to stand there in the 12th round and go boom, hit man with a left hook and lay down on the canvas like that, that's class. That's class. But unfortunately, the fitness levels, how fit was he coming into this fight? You know, and discipline outside the ring. You allow yourself to go up to 154 pounds, 160 pounds. What the hell is all that about? So Broner has to go back to square one. Why am I in boxing? What is my purpose in boxing? And what the hell do I want to do boxing? You know, like, it's almost like when you go to the job center. It's like when you go to the job center and they say to you, all right, you got sacked from your low job. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your life? And they say, well, boy, you know, I'd like to do this or I'd like to do that. He needs a mentor. He needs a mentor. Again, Mike Stafford, who his trainer is. I mean, this is where the James Elliott Bashir theory, the Larry Holmes, when I was on the show. This is where these pieces of information are crucial. There are trainers, there are coaches, there are mentors. I don't think Adrien Broner has a mentor. He needs a mentor. He needs an old man in his corner that he has the utmost respect for. Just one who can talk some damn sense into him and saying, boy, brother, you want to be about billions. You ain't even going to be about millions soon because people are going to stop talking about you. Talk about you for all the wrong reasons. Cut the crap with a rap because you can't rap, right? Forget that. Forget about trying to go on tour with Lil Wayne. Forget that. Thank you very much for saying it's a great show, EJ. I really appreciate this. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate it. Right? That stuff about the rapping and being with listen, it's like he kind of reminds me in some ways of Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson was another one of these guys that kind of like wants to be an entertainer, and I think Adrien Broner has to make a decision. Hi Ruben, hope you're well. Adrien Broner has to make a decision. Are you going to be an entertainer? And if you're going to entertain, you got to step up your game. Or if you're going to be a boxer, then be a boxer. You got to step up your game. Either way, you got to step up your game, and either way you go, right? And if you want to go down both ways, you're going to have to step up both ways. Nah, EJ, I don't agree. I can't agree with you there. Floyd is not. Floyd is not his advice. Because here's an example: if your mentor, the guy you look up to, the man you look up to, and he's part of that promotion, that whole Mayweather promotion, and he's the CEO, he is the man that you model your career on, and you are standing next to your opponent, right? And Floyd's brought you two together, and you just turn your back, flick Floyd's hands away, and you walk off. What kind of shit is that? Pardon my French. What kind of shit is that? That's no respect for the guy that you idolize. No respect for the guy that you model yourself on, and no kind of the guy that you worship in the point where you've lost who you actually are as a person. Does anybody out there know who Adrien Broner is? Does Adrien Broner even know who he is? So he's got an identity crisis going on right now because the shoulder roll don't work, clearly. Second thing of all, you know, where does, I don't know, Marcus McDonald rematch? Oh, hell no. No way. Not now. Marcus McDonald fight happens after Adrien Broner goes into the wilderness. He goes away. And he learns a few more things, life skills about himself. I will take himself away from the world of boxing for a while. I'd go out. You know about Adrien Broner? I'd go away for a year. I'd lock off myself from YouTube. I'd lock off myself from all social media and be gone. I'd go away and learn more about my trade quietly. And then I'd come back, fight a few undercard fights, and have a proper team around me and spend that year building and having a good team for a legacy for the future. A year out, the sport's not going to hurt him. A year out, the sport ain't going to hurt him, I don't think. And then you come back, not at world title level, you come back and you rebuild your career with the team you have around you. There's no point having a bunch of people around you that you don't listen to and you got no respect for. So there we go. I think a good evening, good afternoon, Yemi. Hi, Craig. Super sexy. Oh, is that Broner? Is that me? Oh, great. I think Broner is the new Victor Ortiz. Lots of potential, but when mentally weak and never gives it its all. Broner would be absolutely annihilated by Terence Crawford, 140 pounds. Look at Terence Crawford. I mean, when I first spoke to Terence, and people were going, "Nah, he ain't all that." Now he talk about pound for pound, one of the greatest fighters in that era. Interesting. AB, not about making money. Boxing is not his love no more. I agree with you with that. When you win 3 belts, 3 weights, that goes to your head. Of course. Well, does it? Does it? I don't know if it does. I think we have to look at the Paulie Malignaggi fight. Yeah, Tyson went downhill too. But you gotta ask yourself the question: are these guys peaking too soon? This is another thing I think in boxing or in sport we need to look at. Guys, when does a guy peak too soon? And does peaking too soon also affect what you do outside of the ring, i.e. the nightclubbing, the entertainment, extracurriculum? How do they fit together? Because look at Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather has been around for how many years? 20 years? When did he peak? Somebody tell me when Floyd Mayweather peaked. I'd love to know. Somebody can tell me where he peaked. Because if he peaked somewhere, where did he drop off? Where did he drop off? I know that Floyd has reached a point and then he's, I would say, tailed off, meaning that he's got to a point where, you know, he's unbeaten. So too young, mate. Yeah, Yeah, way too young. I agree, too young. So I want to know who's in his corner, who's whispering in his ear. I don't know. I think Adrien Broner is what Floyd Mayweather could have been had he not had a decent team around him. Check that out. Think about it. Copener says, problem is, if Broner goes away for a year, he will come back weighing 200 pounds. Hey, listen, I don't hear nobody talk about Marcus Maidana, who looks more like a cruiserweight at the minute in time. Marcus Maidana, you see that madman? He's off at the moment, and he's enjoying the money he's got. And good on him. Let him enjoy the money. And if he chooses to go and blow himself up to 200 pounds, that's great. But the one thing you can't knock about Marcus Maidana, when that boy decides to come back in the ring again, he's gonna be trying to hurt some people again. That's one thing, and he gives you 100% entertainment. So you know what? Him going off now and blowing up to 200 pounds, I couldn't give a damn about, to be honest, because Marcus Maidana has given some good fights, and he was the one who taught the problem the problem a lesson. Okay, and I don't think he's actually got the moral of the story in that fight yet. You know, so EJ Boxer says his dad and his uncle still keep him in line. Really? Really? Too young and too stupid, not a good combination. Yeah. But yeah, he may look young, but his body may be old. And I mean, his body may be old and he may be burnt out as a boxer. I think he needs to rest. I don't care if he goes away and gets 200 pounds. Broner dad eating the money too. Yeah, damn, that's the point. I just think Broner needs to go away and find himself. He really does. He needs to go on these spiritual trips. He needs to do it. Damn, he needs to find a moral compass. Anyone knows what that means? A moral compass. He needs to center himself because he's all over the shop. All over the shop. Man, I would love to manage someone like Adrien Broner. I would love to manage him. Love to manage him. But tell you, what would you do if you were managing him? I say, listen, bro. Pack your bags. We're going. We're leaving here and we're going. Man, and we go for a year. We're going to the wilderness for a year. By the time he's come back for the year, he'll see life differently. He'll appreciate the life that he's got now. And the people around him. Floyd, oh, Floyd, you're talking about? Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Damn, and that Floyd started taking the money. Woo! Broner, Ortiz, Kevin Johnson, and Hay are all entertainers stuck in boxers' bodies. They don't love boxing. They love the money and the fame that comes with it. You have to say you're pretty right there. Ortiz has the nerve to say he wants to fight Mayweather again. Who wants to see him fight Mayweather again? Damn, who? I tell you, I wouldn't mind seeing, if it was possible, Ortiz Broner. I'd like to see that fight. Gatti fight was Floyd's peak, in my opinion. The difference is Floyd has somewhere kept his decline to minimum rate, and his boxing IQ has compensated for his physical decline. Physical decline? That's a big statement. His peak was Gatti fight. Really? You think so? I don't know. I'd say his fight against Hatton was pretty decent. Patton was unbeaten. You know, he was doing good stuff. I don't know. I'm not sure if I would say that he peaked against Gatti, because that's a long time ago. I couldn't tail him off like that. I'm sorry, because Floyd has reinvented himself. I think he's reinvented himself. That's my opinion, and I think that you reinvent yourself, and he still remained unbeaten. So I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. Broner young and his world is, yes. You know, he's a father too, right? See, that's another thing, man. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there that allow the fathers to be the fathers that they are. You know what I'm trying to say. Floyd's dad and uncle keep him in line. Oh Oh yeah. Floyd's dad and uncle. Yeah, I thought you talked about Broner. Yeah. Floyd's dad and uncle agreed. I think so. Yeah, they keep him stable. But professionally, I don't think Floyd's dad and his uncle, they know professionally as boxers and maybe trainers, but they're professional teammates around Floyd. Man, you better believe he's got some real serious people behind him. Serious backers, unseen people behind Floyd. Because you don't go 48-0 without having some serious hands behind you. And he's got some serious hands behind him. Him being at MGM Grand and being at, listen, Floyd's got some serious people behind him. And Broner could have the same thing, but his attitude, God, his attitude, it's a real shame. Real shame. And I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to say. It's a shame. But as for Shawn Porter, let's focus on Shawn Porter. Where does he go from here? You're watching the yeah, I believe that's I believe it's on. I haven't to be honest, EJ, I'm not as good as you when it comes to looking at all these fights around the world. And I listen, anybody who doesn't know who EJ is, EJ Boxing Live, check out his stuff. It's excellent stuff. Lots of great videos, lots of boxing commentary he does as well. Check him out, does some great stuff. Am I watching it? Are you watching the Rancis Bartholomew versus Antonio DeMarco, Sammy Vasquez versus Amatoso? Amatoso, I think I've heard of this guy, Amatoso. Jay Leon Love versus Jason Escalara. Well, if it's on, I'll watch it. I'll watch it absolutely. Jay Leon Love, I like to see how he does now. He was a guy that was going places. I always felt there was something missing with Jay Leon Love. Don't know what it was. There was something missing with him. Still interested in middleweight. Spence versus Porter. Make it happen. Ooh. I think Spence is a good fighter. I think Spence is a very good fighter. They're trying to make Spence versus Thurman as well. You know what? We'll just see with Spence. I think he's a good fighter. It's on in 4 hours. Oh, thanks for that, EJ. Appreciate that. So 4 hours time, there's some boxing on. Appreciate that, mate. So yeah, I'll be watching. Yeah, I'll be watching now. I'll certainly tune in and watch that. I'll try and watch it anyway. It's crazy times here at the moment. Yeah, Spence. There's a lot of rumors about Spence. We need to see him fight. We definitely need to see him fight. We need to see what he's like. Porter versus hi Bruce Wayne. Porter versus Thurman. Well, the rumor was, now listen to this, Porter versus Thurman was meant to be instead of Colazzo versus Thurman. So make what you want of that. Thurman won't get the Floyd fight. Forget it. Thurman won't get the Floyd fight. I can't see Floyd fighting Thurman. I really can't. I could see him probably fighting Bert. He said he wants an easy fight for his last fight. I could see him fighting Berto. I could see him fighting Berto. I know Joshua Clottey may had a fight the other day. He was calling Oscar De La Hoya for a second fight, and Oscar De La Hoya basically said, you know what? I don't want to fight you again. I'm comfortable as I am. So he's been calling out Oscar De La Hoya. So if Floyd decided to fight Oscar De La Hoya again, do you know, people would be mad enough to go and see that fight, to watch that fight again. And I think he might fight Berto. I don't know. Yeah, Shawn Porter versus Leonard Bundu. Good fight. No, I tell you, a better fight than that. Kell Brook versus Bundu. That's a good fight. Forget about Brandon Rios. Forget Brandon Rios. Let him fight Leonard Bundu. That's a good fight. If I were Leonard Bundu, I'd push for that fight. I'll tell you why I think Bundu is. I think Bundu is a very good challenge for Kell Brook. He's a very good challenge for a number of reasons. I think he's physically very strong. I think he does excellent body work, and I think Brooks conditioner at 147 pound needs to be tested more. I think he needs somebody like a Bundu to see what he can do. So I think it'd be a good fight. Porter looked the same, gone downhill for me. Well, you know, if you look at Shawn Porter and you look at Danny Garcia, Bundu versus Spencer Guerra, yeah, that would be. Think about it. Bundu versus Brooks, a very good fight. And I would put Rios in the ring with Porter. Brandon Rios, Porter. There's a fight right there. There's a fight right there. Brandon Rios, Shawn Porter, Leonard Bundu, Kell Brook. There you go. Matchmaking. Perfect. Get it on. Keith Thurman versus Colazzo. I don't think anybody cares about the fight, to be honest. You know, I expect Thurman to get through Colazzo quite easily, but then, hey, who knows? Who knows? On another subject completely, Porter not a world-class fighter. Let me throw it to you this way, EJ. Do you think that Porter could be a world-class fighter if he had a world-class trainer? Danny, world-class fighter. Is he? I think Danny Garcia is another fighter that's done that. I'll tell you why. And you know where I think his peak was? The Lucas Matisse fight was his peak. That was his peak. And after Lucas Matisse fight, makes you wonder why he's fighting Paulie Malignaggi, doesn't it? Paulie Malignaggi, I thought Lamont Peterson beat him well. And I said in my prediction video that I believe that Lamont Peterson would have won the fight, but would have lost it on the cards. Just typical. Nah. What? Nah to what? What's he talking about? What are you now into? Sorry, you'll have to explain. Yeah, I think Garcia's tailed off. I really do. I really do think he's. I think since the Lucas Matisse fight, he's tailed off. Well, tell me, since the Lucas Matisse fight, what Danny Garcia has done. As far as I'm concerned, he's lost 2 fights. That's the way I've seen it. With Danny, it's the matchmaking. I don't think so. The matchmaking. You really think so? I don't. Since the Lucas Matisse fight, he's not looked good at all. He's not looked good. And guys, he should have done well against. He hasn't. I don't think Danny Garcia's looked good since the Lucas Matisse fight. And I think the Danny Garcia, that fight against Lucas Matisse, has taken a lot. He's taken a lot out of Danny Garcia. That fight, the Lucas Matisse fight for Danny Garcia, and the Marcus Maidana fight for Adrien Broner. I think. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what Keith Thurman looks like when he comes back against Colazzo. It'll be very interesting to see what Keith Thurman comes back like. Heyman giving Danny one last chance to look good and try and be a cash cow by fighting Paulie. Damn. Can he knock out Paulie Malignaggi? I don't know. I think Paulie stands a good chance in the fight. You know. You don't think so? You don't think that if he changes trainers, he'd be the same? I think sometimes people, they become stale and they need a change. I think fighters need to change, and I think you know, your father and son relationship can be good. I think it worked really well for Joe Calzaghe. Yeah, yeah. But I think Malignaggi's got a decent jab in him as well. In fact, that's the only punch Malignaggi actually got. He's got a left jab. So I should call him left jab Malignaggi because all he's got is that left jab. That's it. He's probably the best one-handed fighter other than Danny Garcia, because all he's, for me, he's got is that big left hook. But it sounds really harsh about Danny Garcia, but I don't actually find Danny Garcia an exciting fighter, and I don't find him an exciting personality. What brings the excitement of Danny Garcia for me is his father. If you really break it down and look at it, it's his father talking all the crap that he talks, who I swear is as high as a kite, absolutely high as a kite. He's either smoking, he's either on marijuana, he's on crack, but he's on something. Because that guy is as high as a kite every time I see him. Do you think that Floyd is being serious about fighting Berta, Curry Mayfield in September? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think he is. I think he's dead serious. Look, Floyd's got to the point where he can do whatever the damn hell he wants. It's the final fight. I do what the hell I want. So yeah, I do think so. And I don't think Kell Brook is in the sweepstakes. And I don't think Amir Khan's in the sweepstakes. I really don't. I really don't. I don't think Thurman, Brook, or Khan are in the sweepstakes. Thurman, well, okay. I'm a Thurman fan. Everyone knows I'm a Thurman fan, but he just fought his first real decent, real top rated, everybody knows, was Guerrero. Right? But Floyd's ever. He's not high. He's not high. Okay, I think he always seems high to me. But he talks a lot of sense. Don't get me wrong. He talks a lot of sense, but he seems high. But maybe he's not high as a kite. But yeah, Thurman. I love Thurman. Everyone knows I love Thurman. But he's only had one decent fight, which was Guerrero. Really, to know Guerrero and the Leonard Bundu fight. Two good fights, right? So marketability, yeah, he's a puncher. He can box a bit. Yeah, but people will say as soon as the fight's made, you know, Keith, he's got a puncher's chance. That's what I'll say about him. So Khan, he's been knocked out already, and he hasn't looked impressive. And you look at the Algeria fight, that says it all. Then you look at Kell Brook. Apart from Shawn Porter, who else is in our resume that you could say, yeah, that warrants a good fight? And Berto, well, he's fought a lot of fighters, and hey, why not? You know, so I don't know. He says Floyd will fight number 50 at the new MGM on network TV. Maybe he might. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. I don't know. I don't know. And there's another thing I want to mention while I'm talking about fights. Gennady Golovkin. Now, I think fight fans are blind. I really do think they're blind. I think it's like the signs are there, but we tend to ignore them. If you look back at when Malignaggi fought Broner, the signs were there. They were blatantly there, the signs that there were some issues there. And Malignaggi exposed those issues. And then Maidana capitalized on them. Now the fight that GGG had against Willie, I can't remember his last, I keep forgetting his last name. Willie somebody. But the last guy he fought, you saw GGG getting hit with a lot more punches. So is that right there? What you're seeing there where GGG's getting punched, getting caught against a guy who didn't have big knockout power. You know, we're seeing there he's getting hit a lot. He's taken a lot of punches and people are starting to talk about it. So, like I said, people talk about GGG, he can close the range down. You can close the range down against guys that are not whacking you back hard on the chin that want to take you out. I keep making this point over and over and over again. I want to see, and I keep on saying this over and over and over again. No, I'm not interested in GGG fighting Cotto. William Monroe, thank you very much. I'm not interested in seeing GGG fight Cotto. No, I'm not interested in GGG fighting Canelo because two reasons. One, they're both light middleweights. Don't give me bull about, oh yeah, they're middleweights. They're not middleweights, they're light middleweights. That is what they are. They should not be in they should not be a conversation about them. Let Canelo come up to middleweight and fight a couple of fights in middleweight, and let's see how he looks as a middleweight before he fights GGG. Okay? Even with Cotto, I mean, Cotto Canelo could be done at light middleweight. It doesn't have to be done at middleweight. Done at light middleweight. And bear in mind, if you look how small Cotto is, he is small, right? So there's my point right there. I think GGG needs to have a fight where people can say, right, this is a man that's coming in and coming to do the business on him, right? I said, David Lemieux, I keep saying it, he's like, oh, he's not got a great chin. David Lemieux, we know one thing and one thing about this man. He reminds me in some ways of a Nigel Benn. The guy just comes to knock people out. Lemieux is a puncher, right? He's a puncher. And let's see how GGG fights against a guy that has the mentality to come to knock you out, the bad intentions. Let's see how he does against him. Okay. Now, you know he's open to punches. You know he's open at middleweight to punches. So he moves up to super middleweight. Wait. So GGG suddenly, it's acceptable. It's okay for him to get caught with punches and get, you know, look terrible against Willie Monroe. But somehow boxing fans work out that if you box at that lower weight division at middleweight, that you're going to somehow fight Andre Ward at light heavyweight, and you're going to give Ward the toughest fight of his career. Get out of here. Come on, man. How the hell is that going to happen? How is GGG going to come from middleweight up to light heavyweight, right? Or even up to super middleweight, yeah? And box and not get hit on the chin, and not get hit with combinations, and not get put on his back foot, and not get hit with uppercuts on the inside. So let's take this one step further. Oh, GGG, he's going to destroy Floyd Mayweather. So let's say the fight takes place at light middleweight. For example, what do we know about GGG? We know that if you move and you hit him, he's easily hit. We know that. We also know he's pretty flat-footed, and he has a tendency to follow you around the ring and try and trap you to the ropes. What do we know about Floyd? Floyd is excellent against ropes. He can fight off the ropes. He's a pot shotter. And if you're flat-footed and you come forward in straight lines and you leave your chin in the air, Floyd's going to hit you with a right hand. And if you've only got one gear, which I think Gennady Golovkin's got one gear, I don't think he's got gears 2, 3, and 4. I really don't. Bear all that in mind, and then you're going to put that man in. He doesn't do anything sensational for me. He doesn't. Look at what it took him 11 rounds to take care of Martin Murray. Willie Monroe, I'm not being disrespectful here. I said it before. I'm watching the fight. I'm watching Willie. Let's see what this guy's going to do. And I had no faith whatsoever in Willie Monroe. And I'm watching Willie Monroe. I'm seeing this popping. I'm seeing pop his jab out. I said, you see what? You know what? He's going to come over the top of a right hand and boom, he's on the floor. That you come out to fight GGG throwing a jab like that's not going to do anything. If you're going to come out and throw a jab against you, you've got to throw a jab and put something behind you. You've got to put some power behind it. You've got to hit this guy and you've got to hurt this guy. That's how I see GGG. And if you can't hurt GGG, forget it. If you can't hurt this guy, forget it. You need to get his respect from round one. Bing. GGG beats David Lemieux and Hassan Nadam on the same day. Well, you said it. So it's got to be AEJ. It's got to be. Now, I know he's not fighting GGG. I'm just giving you an example. I never said he'd fight GGG. I said I'm giving you examples and breaking it down as to why, in my mind, I think boxing fans missed the point completely. That's what I was saying. So I think Manny should fight GGG. Great fight. Nobody will talk about that. Nobody will say GGG Manny Pacquiao. They won't do that. And you know why they won't mention that? Because Manny hasn't gone oh. And so many people want to see that oh. Oh, there's so many people want to see Floyd get beat. They want to see what Floyd would say if he got beat. That's a post-fight interview we may never see. We may see post-fight interviews of his fighters getting beat, but we may never see a post-fight interview of Floyd Mayweather getting beat. It's even a post-fight interview of Joe Kazaki getting beat. We may never see that ever. So you know that's what it is. You know that's the score, you boxing fans. And those people will watch the show video later on. They just want to see Floyd get beat. And no. Reckon Billy Joe Saunders will regret not fighting the Dam after the Lee fight. Listen, another guy I like is Billy Joe Saunders. I like him. I do like him. But this is world-class boxing now. And you know, one thing about Andy Lee, he's fought and he was training under Emmanuel Stewart. And I think Lee's blossoming into his own. The problem I've got with Billy Joe Saunders is at world level, can he punch? He can box. I think he's got top-class boxing ability. But I don't think he's got world-class punching power. And I don't think he's got work. I think he's got. I think he's got world class boxing skills. I don't think he's got world class punch power, and I think he's got domestic level stamina. And that domestic level stamina is a problem, a major problem. Because if you're tiring against Chris Eubank Jr. and Eubank Jr. don't, as far as I'm concerned, don't have at the moment that one punch knockout power that Andy Lee's got, and you've got to say Andy Lee is a world class puncher. What I mean by that is, look at the guys he's dropping. Look at the guys he's dropping. Quillen, I couldn't remember the guy who fought for the world title, stopped him. John Jackson, listen, you know you got world class punch power is when your ass is in trouble and you're about to get knocked out yourself, and you can go boom and knock a guy out with one shot. That is what you call punch power, and at the highest level. Yeah, I think he does get beat by Lee. I actually think he does. I think he does. I think it's a good fight, but it's a stamina with me. It's a stamina. If he can hurt, you see, guys that stand a good chance against Andy Lee are guys that. Oh, Sarah, I have to disagree with you there. Well, I told you about this yesterday, didn't I? About GGG. Eubank Jr. Remember I said this. The reason why the Eubank Jr. fight with Billy Joe Saunders got cancelled, he was offered $1 million, and his father said no. They are the WBA interim champion, right? And the rule is that the interim champion can fight either the super champion or the regular champion. The regular champion being Danny Jacobs, the super champion being Gennady Golovkin. And Eubank Sr. said, and he was pushing GGG to fight Eubank Jr. I don't know how many times I've got to say this. This is the truth. In November, they want to fight GGG. Eubank Sr. wants his son to fight Eubank Jr. This is the truth. That's why Eubank Jr. is not fighting Billy Joe Saunders. Clear and simple. Simple as that. That's what it is. So there are people saying that Eubank Jr. don't want anything of GGG. Oh, yes, he does. Well, his father does. And like I said a long time ago, when I told you I used to train, I used to live in Brighton, so I know the Eubanks very well, very well. What's happening with Eubank? Is he still working with Warren? Got the feeling he's going to sign with Heyman soon. Who knows? Sly 1781. Why on earth is Floyd stirring up a fight between Spence, Thurman, and Porter? Spence has a lot of potential, but way too green at the moment. Yeah, I think Floyd himself will probably think, you know what? He got to improve himself. That's his. I've done my shit. You can imagine Floyd sitting there saying, "I've done my shit. I've proved myself. I fought the best that was out there." And they got this kid, as he refers to Thurman, this kid who's just fought a couple of fights, and he's calling me out. No. Let him fight some. Let him fight some names. Let him go fight Spence. Let him go fight. Let him fight them guys. Let Spence deal with them guys. You know what I mean, let Spence fight Thurman. Let Spence fight Porter. Do you mean? November, yep, November. That's what I believe they're working towards. So we need to find out. I need to find out more information about this, but that's what the story is at the moment. So, of course, we haven't heard Eubank Jr. fighting anybody yet. We haven't heard GGG's fighting anybody yet. So we have to wait and see whether this is actually going to happen or not. But they turned down the fight with Billy Joe Saunders. So, and for me, what doesn't make sense to me, what I find absolutely crazy, is that people are saying he wouldn't, Eubank Jr. wouldn't earn as much money fighting GGG as he would do fighting Billy Joe Saunders. Well, it's a £1 million fight. But then bear in mind, that's £1 million, the fight is, but then you've got to pay for trainers, pay your manager, the promoter, and that's interesting. Do you think Eubank's dad takes a cut of the money that Eubanks Jr. gets? Who do I think was Spence, man? Spence. Guerrero shot. I think Guerrero shot that last fight Guerrero had. Oh boy. Guerrero looked messed up in that fight. He really did. That last fight I saw him. He looked. Forget. I think Spence is good. Spence is good. Spence beats Guerrero, I think. You think Robert Guerrero beats Spence? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Guerrero's having too many hard fights now. By the time Spence gets to him, yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, the grossest shot to shit. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He's having a hard fight after hard fight. So by the time someone like Spence gets to him, he'll be a shadow of himself. A shadow of himself. That's funny, isn't it? Okay, okay, he didn't get the joke. It wasn't that funny. Yeah, so yeah. Interesting news. You think the book is out on Spence? Well, not according to Adrien Broner, and Floyd Mayweather isn't. If I don't know about that. He hasn't fought anyone decent, but it's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. Look, people say the same thing about Thurman's. People say the same thing about it's time. You can't really say the book is out on somebody. You've got to say you can only put the book out on somebody, and you can really only put the book out on somebody after they've fought someone and they've been exposed. Then you can say the book's out on somebody, but you can't close the book on somebody who hasn't even had a chance to show himself yet. So I don't think you can say the book is out on Spence. I think that's very unfair to put the book out on somebody. No chance. What? What? You can't put the book out on anybody, because if you put the book out on anybody, then people want to have boxing careers. In your case, then Ali, the book would have been out on him. Tyson, the book would have been out on him. All the greatest fighters in history, the book would have been slammed on them before they even got a chance to fight for world titles and even fight decent fighters. So you can't put the book out on somebody. You've got to make a judgment call and say, you know what, this guy's got skills, he's got talent. Let's see what he does at the next level. So no, the book is not out on Spence, and I'm not going to sit here and endorse that message at all. The message is that, you know what, you could say the book is out on Adrien Broner because of what he's done and the recent fights he's had. You're saying, you know what, this guy at the moment isn't up to standards. He's not up to standard. He's not good enough. He's good at a certain level, but when you put him in against X, Y, and Z, he doesn't perform. That's when you could say the book is out on him, or the jury is out on him, because he's been tried and tested and failed. That's when you put a book out on someone. You can't put a book out on somebody and judge somebody unless they've been put in a position to be tested. And you can't say the book is out on Spence because he really hasn't been tested yet. So for me, the jury is still in on Spence until he's been tested and found wanting, as well as Anthony Joshua. Joshua, until he's been tested, you cannot say the jury is out on him. You've got to give him a chance, give him a fair verdict to allow the man to prove himself or fail. If he fails, then you can say, well, the book is out on him. Oh, he hasn't got good stamina, or he's not got a good chin, or you know, he's got no heart. Then you could put the book out on someone. But you can't put a book out on someone without them even down or getting a chance to fight. Damn. Fair point. Just meant that he hasn't proven he deserves to be in the same sentence as Porter and Broner. I would disagree with you about the Broner bit. I would definitely disagree with you on the Broner bit. What? He doesn't deserve to be put in the same. Porter and Thurman. Well, all right. But then, if you really want to go there with Porter, he struggled against Diaz, who dropped Amir Khan, who was schooled by Thurman. And so where are we going with this? And then got beat by Brook, who, if you look at Brook's record, apart from the fight he had against Porter then, and Porter's big coming into world level was the way he knocked out Malignaggi. So are you going to say the book is out on Porter? I don't know. I'm not so quick to put books out on people like that. You've got to give people a chance in boxing, man. You've got to give them a chance. You've got to give people a fair crack of the whip and say, you know what? Here's your opportunity. Here's your test. Let's see how you get through your test. And if you get through your test, then we can see how you're at. You know, do you agree in order to be a big pay-per-view sensation, you need to be either a trash talker like Mayweather or Broner, or knockout artist like Pacquiao and GGG? Yes. 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 Pay-per-view. Never mind Eddie Hearn's sick and twisted idea of what pay-per-view is. Let's put pay-per-view in its original format, not the cheapened version by Matchroom, the original format, pay-per-view. You're paying per view for something that's entertaining, something that's worth paying for. Okay, Mayweather Pacquiao was worth paying for because of the two personalities, the two entities coming together. A fight that was waited many times for a long time. Two pound for pound number one, pound for pound number two, arguably coming together and fighting. There's a point there. Thomas Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, pay per view. That's worth it. Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, pay per view. Lewis Tyson, pay per view. Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, pay per view. These are events that, you know, was Joe Calzaghe, Kessler pay per view? Possibly, because you've got the number one and number two in the world fighting against one another. You know, both undefeated, both world champions for the undisputed championship of the world. Yeah, why not? I think that should be pay per view. Yeah. So is Andre Ward a pay per view star? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Andre Ward may now have the opportunity to become a pay-per-view star. He's got the ability to be a pay-per-view star. He's got the skill set to be a pay-per-view star. But now he needs a pay-per-view adversary. He probably needs a grudge match. Ward needs, you know, Ward Froch. If you looked at the way Ward Froch was for the Super Six, I would have paid pay-per-view for the Super Six final, because you know you were having the two best fighters got through to the finals to fight a pay-per-view event. I think it'd been great. I think that would have been great. I can see that. But coming back to your point, I think you have to be able to sell yourself. So if you come up punch, but you got a big mouth, then yeah, people should want to see you fight. People now want to see Malignaggi fight. They think he talks too damn much, and they want to see him fight Malignaggi. Want to see him fight Pacquiao. He talks too damn much. That's what people say. But at the same time, people like Malignaggi because he talks too much. But he talks a lot of sense. People don't like that. People don't like people that talk sense, that are charismatic, and that talk the truth. I don't know. I think we live in a, pardon my French here, a bullshit world. I think that, and that's what I'm picking up now. That if you talk sense and you're charismatic and you can articulate yourself and not fall into the one-word answers, and you can actually explain yourself constructively, people don't want to know that. People are not interested in that. People are more entertained by watching people slapping people in the back and having conversations that have no substance and don't hit the heart. People are not interested in really, a lot of people are not interested in getting to know what a person's all about. They're just like sound bites. So how you feeling? When's your next fight? How's training camp going? You know, how are you going to do? People don't really delve deeper now, and that's just the way it is. You just see it in the media today, whether it not just being boxing, sport, life shows. The fact it's just becoming less depth, more crap. So yeah, that's why Ward struggles to draw huge crowds despite his undefeated pound for pound number 2 in the world. He can't draw anything like GGG, who's accomplished less and draws more and more crowds than Ward. I agree with you, Emmy. But the other thing is, I would say that his PR team previously are crap. They're awful. Andre Ward is a guy that needs to be getting out there, but he's sold to the public as very aloof. I don't think Ward is aloof. I think he's a man of standards. And I think sometimes if you're a person of standards, that can come across you being, I'm too good for you. I don't think Ward's like that. I really don't think Ward is like that. But his PR team needs to be shot with horse shit. Sorry for all the swear, but his PR team needs shot with horse shit. If I was managing Ward's career, which I'm not, but if I was, I'd shoot his PR team, because I've had to deal with some of his PR team. And they're bullshit. Crap. They don't represent what Ward is. Ward is a product. Ward is a product. And you're not handling that product properly. People who, you know, that's what I can tell you firsthand. So, you know, you got to handle people better. And I think that with Ward, the Super Six is where he should have kicked on. He should have kicked on for the Super Six. Now he's back. Now he's with Rock Nation. Let's just hope that with Rock Nation that he can kick on with his career. Let's hope that he doesn't wait until his children get to middle school before he fights again. Let's hope that Ward fights consistently, regularly. And yeah, let's hope that is the case. But it's interesting that the fight was in Oakland. You know, not like a major arena, because we know that he probably can't pull in that sort of crowd yet. Yeah, man, he put a beating on Smith last night. He really did. And as I was saying earlier, I don't know if you caught what I said earlier, EJ. I said that Smith was talking about how open Andre Ward is. I said, well, the only person on night that was open was Smith. He was open all night. Man, that boy took some left. He was eating left jabs. That's what you call eating leather. He was eating left jabs all night long. Typical Joe Gallagher fight. Never moved their heads. Jab, 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 jab. Jab, 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 Smith. That's what it was. Jab, jab, right hand through the middle. You know, where was he talking? Where do I think go? I think I mentioned earlier, I said Broner needs to take a year out of the sport, needs to go and find himself, go to wilderness, go to Africa, and you know, just find himself. Yeah, but it was to be expected. I find it funny, EJ, the way they were talking about how Smith is put on all this weight, he's going to have some sort of advantage. What advantage? Even if he'd come in 200 pounds, he still didn't have an advantage. Smith needs to look for the door in his boxing career. You know, Smith's nose got broke. Oh no, I shouldn't be cruel about Paul Smith, but I kind of like Paul Smith. I did like Paul Smith in his career. I liked him, but I don't know. He sort of, you know, Red Mars Smith. I think Ward was saying, "Do you think I'm open to you? You think I'm open to you? Yeah. Take that front opening. Take that. Yeah, I'm open. I'm like, oh, come on in. Take that. All that. That's how I think Smith. That's how I think Ward was fighting Smith. I seen them talking back and forth with one another. But Smith did himself no favors. Smith did himself no favors. Eyes open. Andre Ward's open. And I'm gonna do this. He should have just kept his mercy. He should have kept his mouth shut. And she says, you know what? Andre Ward's a great fighter. I'm just gonna try my best in there, and that's it. But then you say, oh, I can see openings. I'm gonna catch him when he's open. You know what? Ward's the kind of man that will listen. I don't know if Ward bears a grudge, but Ward's a man that will listen to what you say. This is right. He sit down, he'll listen to you. What's all right? So that's what you really think, is it? Is that so? You think I'm open to you? Okay. Is that your criticism? Right. I'm gonna put it on you. I'm gonna show you how open I am. And that's exactly. You look at what when Carl Froch was talking all the crap about him, and then what Ward said. He says, "You think you can control this face off? It's not the Carl Froch show. I'm letting you know it's not the Carl Froch show." So Ward, I love Ward for that. Ward. I tell you, when Ward gets himself into when there's a grudge match, when somebody gets under Ward's skin, they haven't done it yet, but when somebody gets under Ward's skin, the closest I think somebody got under Ward's skin was Carl Froch. Ward needs to fight guys who are going to get under his skin and bring the very best out of him. And when that happens, somebody starts insulting him. Someone like Carl Froch, who's a bit more brave, you're going to get the best out of Ward. And I think that will make him into a pound for pound fight, pay-per-view fighter. Also, let me remind you of this. Let me remind you of this, boxing fans. Do you remember Timothy Bradley? He can sell a ticket for shit, right? He couldn't sell a ticket for shit. And then he fought Provodnikov. And because of that Provodnikov fight, where he went down and he got up, nobody talks about that Pacquiao fight and all the other Bradley fights. That Provodnikov fight is the fight that everyone talks about. That's the fight everyone talks about. Now Bradley's selling tickets. So, and people talk about Bradley being this great fighter now. I mean, that's what it is. So Ward needs that fight. He needs that breakthrough fight. People would say, well, that breakthrough fight was the Froch fight. No, he needs another one. People need reminding of how good Ward is. But Paul Smith wasn't that reminder. Paul Smith was just a reminder to Paul Smith. The next time he's on a comment, like Ward probably think, next time you're on Sky and you're talking about me, you talk about me, you'll talk about me in a different way. Because I'm going to give you a beating. So when you go back to England, you're going to talk about me in a way I want you to. There's fear about me. That I'm not open, I'm not easy to hit, and I'm a damn good fighter. And give me some props for that. That's what I can imagine Ward saying. That's the way I think Ward thinks. So, EJ says, Smith, nose broken, lost money, looked like a bum. You imagine, you go to America, the odds are stacked against you. So you think best thing to do is go and you know what? I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna come into the fight overweight because that's gonna give me advantage. What? I didn't know that weight won fights. I thought skill won fights, and throwing punches won fights. So he thinks he can come in overweight. So he comes in overweight. He gets stung the first day, and then he's got to come back the next day. He gets stung the second day. So not only you get beat in the pocket before you get in the ring, and then you get in the ring and take a beating as well. So that was a pointless trip, wasn't it? That was a pointless trip. I wonder if Eddie Hearn put any money towards that. So yeah. Hi, sports media. What have I missed? Just tuned in. Not a lot. Just talked about Smith and Ward. Talked about Porter. Talked about Broner, and basically said that Broner needs to go stop boxing for about a year, go to Africa, take himself in the wilderness, and find himself. Smith, go back to Sky Sports Desk. Yeah, well, that'd be quite funny. We might not see Paul Smith for a few weeks on Sky Sports. If it's the case, he'll probably be wearing sunglasses, and I don't think they'll have him on Sky. So we might not have to see his miserable face on Sky for a few weeks. Good evening, the Fonzie one cool guy. Good evening. Kovalev walked through Ward's power, hunt him down. Really? You think so? Nah, I don't think so. It's a career-defining fight, yes, but no, he doesn't walk through Ward, because there's a few reasons why he doesn't walk through Ward. Because you forget Ward can box. You forget Ward can adapt his style. Kovalev fights the same way in every fight. And let me tell you something. He could have stopped Hopkins early, but he didn't know he could fight 12 rounds that way, because he never fought 12 rounds up to the Hopkins fight. He could have stopped Hopkins early in that fight, I believe, but he reserved himself to go to 12 rounds. And you saw in the 12th round when he actually started putting punches together right at the end of the fight what he could have done to Hopkins. I think movement, speed, movement, plus boxing intelligence will give Kovalev problems. I really do. Kovalev looks good. You've got to remember, you're talking levels now, man. You're talking levels, right? What you do against guys who stand in front of you, like Pascal and limited boxing skill, is different to what you do against guys who've got high IQ and boxing ability. So no, Ward's not hunted down by Kovalev, not at all. Not at all, not in the slightest. Kovalev will be lucky if he can pin Ward against the ropes, honestly, because he'll get hit with shots as he's coming in. It's okay hunting people down who don't know how to counter and throw punches back. And the other thing is, what does Kovalev fight like on the inside? What happens if Ward gets him on the inside and starts throwing uppercuts on the inside and lays on Kovalev's chest? What about that? That's more realistic. That's more realistic. Kovalev been put on the ropes and been hustled and bustled and not been allowed to fight in the rhythm that he would normally fight. Because I can see Ward doing that. Ward using the jab, stepping inside and getting inside and roughing Kovalev up. That's a fight I can see happening. This Kovalev's going to walk him down. No, Kovalev will walk down any other guy, but this is the guy that's supremely good fighter who can adapt, who can box, who can slug, who can move on the inside, on the outside, side-to-side movement. Listen, Ward is total package. Kovalev hasn't proven to be the total package yet. Kovalev has done well against the guys and put in front of him. But Kovalev in a Super 6, I'd like to see how he would have done then with those different sorts of styles. Sports media. Ward is tough, mate. Have him winning on points of wide. Yeah, I think so too. Ward takes away your best attributes. Ward is like Hopkins, but I think even better still. Ward takes away your best attributes in a fight. Nobody knew Carl Froch couldn't fight on the inside until Ward fought him. Ward will study Kovalev and he will take Kovalev apart. Honestly, Kovalev is a big puncher. Let's take his punch power away for a second. And for you to see someone like Kovalev, he needs to actually be able to get in a position, set his feet, and throw punches. Ward's going to keep him moving. Floyd's going to keep him moving. He's going to come in, out, and to the sides, in, out, and to the sides. And when he gets on the inside, he'll stay on the inside, and that's where he'll be dangerous against Kovalev. I don't see Kovalev being as effective as he's been. Kovalev is effective when you've got him at this, when he's at distance and he can throw them big shots. He's very good. I don't think Kovalev is good at this distance here, which is on the chest. And we all know Ward can fight very good up close. Can Kovalev? So, Ribena Spring, hello, how are we doing? Hope you're well. So, I think Adonis Stevenson's a good fight as well. Ward versus Adonis Stevenson. I think it's an interesting fight as well. I think that Ward takes the left hand away from Adonis Stevenson. That's what I think Ward would do. I just think Ward's a great student of the game. I don't think Stevenson nor Kovalev are students of the game. I don't think they are. I think they're good fighters, very good fighters, but students of the game, very, very few and far between have you got students of the game. Does Stevenson adapt his style? No. Does Kovalev fight differently? No. They fight the same. See, they're good at what they do, but can they adapt? Don't think they can. So Kovalev fought the same way as he would fight anybody when he fought Hopkins. The difference was that he didn't go hell for leather in the first couple of rounds because he knew Hopkins was a tough nut and could have caused him some problems. Ward should fight Fonfara as a light heavyweight warm up, then Kovalev Stevenson. Okay, but if he fights Fonfara but Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Look, it doesn't work like that because Fonfara, it is great to see Ward back. Fonfara for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. First of all, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. had no business fighting Fonfara. No business being there. He is a lazy sod. And Fonfara took advantage of that, being the bigger, stronger man. He had no business being in that weight category fighting Fonfara. So, who would I like to see Porter in against next? Brandon Rios? Yeah. Brandon Rios. So I can see Lennon Bundu fight Kell Brook. Yeah, Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios, Shawn Porter. Because if Brandon Rios can fight for a world title, so can Shawn Porter. Ward versus, yeah, he's a good fighter. Yeah, a good fighter. But he fights this guy. If he beats this guy, what people would say? Oh, he's still young in his career. I still think I would like to see Ward fight Cleverly. I'm not interested in to see Ward fight guys that can't build up his name. I mean, I'd like to see him fight Cleverly. Huh? Thurman? You'd like to see Ward v. Thurman? Are you sure? Oh, you're talking about Porter. Thurman? I'm not fussed about a fight. I mean, I know those guys are very close. They're very close, Thurman and Porter. Thurman and them, they have families come over and they eat and have meals together. So that's a very, very, if that fight will only happen if it has to happen. I don't see that fight happening just like that. Boxing's a business, but both Thurman and Porter, they're very close. So that fight only happens for me if there's some serious money on the line. The Brandon Rios versus Porter would be a scrappy fight. Yeah, and Broner wasn't. Broner wasn't. Yeah, Porter. Yeah. I reckon it took a lot. The Chavez fight. Yeah, I do too. I think I don't think the Fonfara fight fighting Ward will take Fonfara apart. I really do. Again, Fonfara is okay. Wasn't that the same Fonfara that Stevenson beat up, knocked down, and stopped? I think. No, I don't. But Stevenson is a great puncher. I just don't think. I think the Julio Cesar Chavez fight, both Fonfara probably look better than he actually is. Julio Cesar Chavez again is a lazy bum. He should have no business fighting up at that weight category. That's my thoughts on that. You reckon that Ward versus it look a lot like the Chavez fight? What? Ward versus Fonfara? Fonfara fighting Ward or what? I don't know. I couldn't say. Right, let's see where we're at the moment. Yeah, they don't tend to be the best to watch. No, I agree. Okay, change the subject slightly. EJ, you still in the room with me? I've got some interesting news for you. Okay, some information coming out from a well-respected assistant trainer to Vladimir Klitschko, James Ali Bashir. His views with regards to Chisora versus Ustinov. He thinks that Ustinov beats Derek Chisora. He says styles make fights. He says Derek Chisora likes to be in there with the big guys, but he thinks that Ustinov beats Derek Chisora. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, Derek Chisora recently turned up to a press conference in Ustinov's hometown, I believe, or in his country, and he turned up with a video of the sparring sessions, which I was privy to watch with him and Ustinov. In fact, there's a video out there that's I've done a preview to Ustinov versus Chisora, and the photograph I took there was moments after Chisora had damaged his right hand on Ustinov's head. That was a back and forth fight. That is not an easy fight for Derek Chisora. Credit to him coming back to fight him, but difficult fight, man. I think it's a difficult fight. So I think that's about it. Oh, while I'm at it, I'm in the room. I've got to give a shout out to my man 4C Sports Media. Check out his stuff. Does a lot of good interviews. Check his stuff out. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, check his channel out. Check out the interviews. Does some great stuff. Yeah. You know, I don't know how many US people I've got in the room, but I have got one question. You're going Derek. Okay. I watched Derek and Derek and Ustinov fight up close. I watched him. I literally was on the apron ring when Chisora and Ustinov were sparring, if you want to call it a sparring session. This was a week before he was Fight Fury. And I said it before, I'll say it again. If that was a sparring session, listen, them punches that were coming in weren't no sparring punching. There were some bad intentions. Ustinov, you have to understand, Ustinov is a bully, right, by nature. Ustinov is a man that will take liberties. When he comes to sparring, he takes liberties. So basically, when Ustinov was sparring with Derek, Ustinov was trying to take advantage of Derek, and Derek had to put it on him, literally put it on him. Don't come over here and try and do that shit with me. I've got to put it on you. And that's how it was. And that's how he ended up damaging his hand. So, you know, Derek has the power to knock Ustinov out. But let me tell you something. Derek was sitting on them ropes way too long when he fought Ustinov. When I saw him sparring Ustinov, he was sitting on ropes way too long. So, don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Has anybody else got anything else to say? I think that's it. It's 6:30 almost. I think we're coming to the end of the show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Please continue to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. You know, the strange thing about this is that I'll get some like 300 views. I don't know who Del Boy's training with at the moment. I don't know if he's Don Charles or not. I haven't found out. But I know Del Boy did post a video out or picture out saying he's with a new team. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments. It's very strange that I get like 300 comments on these videos, but I never get to see them. I never get to see these comments afterwards, which is very strange. So yeah, thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate it. Just before I end, I want to find out how you found out today about this video. Did you find out for the video via Google Plus email? Did you find it via Twitter? Did you find it via Facebook? Did you find it via somebody telling you? How did you find out about today's show? I'm just trying to find out what works and what doesn't work. And I'll just wait because it takes some time to catch up. I need to start doing a Skype show. Honestly, this is ridiculous. I need to do a Skype show. I don't know how far you're into the video, so. All right, well, I'll probably have to find out another time because I'm going to have to go. Thank you so much for watching the show. Appreciate it. And continue to share the show. Continue to tell people about the show. This has been England Jones with Bayloric TV. I'm out. Take care. Thanks, Ribena.